And it sounds like the drivers are getting to the grid, and we're about to get this race underway. The very first Jokers series. And I don't know, I don't think anything like this has been done in Gran Turismo that's been at least broadcasted. So I'm very excited to see what this is like as we ride on board with Papa in pole position in the Dodge Viper. Let's see how this gets started. We're having a rolling start here at Daytona, and we are underway. And of course, oh no, I was about to say, and of course everybody lines up, but no, Ecstasy full send. Looks like that Ford GT off the line is a beast. That's another thing we didn't test, is how quickly these guys get started. Or what do you think, Tussim, are some people running a fuel map?
I don't know, it's too early to say. I would assume that everybody would start off on maximum fuel. I also watched, see who it was. We got Buck Nasty's actually electing to take the Joker lap now. And he was the only driver to take that Joker lap, so he's going to be in here, but he now does not have that slipstream advantage.
And unfortunately, one of the rules, which is why we say you need to read the rules, is you cannot do the Joker lap on the opening lap or your out lap. So that's definitely a no-no and will be penalized. As we see up there, Papa falling back, running way up high. SSC now in P1, C-Dubs in P2. Papa is out of the slipstream and falling back. He tucks back in just behind Metal and in front of Angry Fredbird. And here we are, single file again.
P7 and P8, they both try to take the Joker lap. Hickvick is run into the wall, and
oh no!
Tears. Looks like he did cut. Couldn't quite get the best view, but yes, very unfortunate from Buck Nasty. He does pick up, well, not Buck Nasty, Hickvick picks up a 1.5 second
penalty. Good, considering. Geezer Gears, unfortunately, we saw on the Joker replay. Big shout out to Salamander. Look at these graphics, y'all. New leader, we got the Joker lap graphic, and Papa is back on pole. So
P6, Angry Fredbird, we have another failed Joker attempt.
Another.
It looked like it was I got to it just a little bit too late.
It's SC all over the bumper of Papa, pushing hard. I think some of these drivers are going to go long. It's interesting to see how the strategies are playing out and the adaptability. So we do have a pack further back, so they've managed oh my goodness. Well done. You can tell Papa practiced that one as that was textbook. And now Ecstasy in the lead of this race. I just now am realizing I should have had a piece of paper with a list of the drivers so I can check off when they took their Joker lap. As we see Leo in the background scraping the walls there. A lot of us are used to doing this in Group 3 cars on racing tires, and we're seeing that it's a lot more difficult as Metal heavy on the brake. Leo follows just behind, no issues there. And looking like these drivers are looking to get rid of their Joker laps early, but now they have such a gap. Leo managing to stay in P3 with that Joker being done, but he is going to be trying to gain speed the rest of the way around the track while those behind can continue to catch. We look at Metal in P2 with Leo just behind. Leo really going up here in his rainbow tooled T-Case Corvette, getting it 84 miles an hour. Everyone else going 200, but I mean, he's still 10 seconds, 9 seconds ahead. We'll see. Do you think Leo and Metal can catch him here, SSC? or Tessa?
It's going to be really close. I think he played that really smart, played the Joker Lab as a very nice opportunity. He doesn't want to lose too much time to Metal and Leo. If they're working together, they're going to be a lot faster than that 4GT, especially being in the Corvette, higher top end.
Yeah, indeed. And you can see it now down to 2 seconds. That is impressive. And who is that? Who do I see? Oh, it's Mr. PHG. Look at him coming up in the Corvette back, or in the Viper, back up onto the podium position, and really carrying a lot of speed. And now we're going to start seeing a little tire wear. We're going to start seeing some fuel. So I'm curious, Tussum, you're able to scroll through there. Anybody else really hurting on fuel, or is everybody about the same?
Specifically looking at the Corvettes, Metal is at about 66% fuel, but Leo also in Corvette is a little bit lower, just about 59%.
Interesting.
A lot of the drivers are kind of hovering around that 1/3 fuel usage so far. Yeah, I would say Leo right now is the outlier. Actually, Papa, his fuel, and then Viper is also just a little bit low compared to the other drivers as well.
Interesting. And we see several drivers going side by side, not wanting to work together. But I mean, in my opinion, if you've already served your Joker, it's time to start bump drafting and get a move on. Interesting to see those drivers going side by side, or maybe they didn't quite feel comfortable bump drafting in the corners. It's a rule of thumb of mine, is I turn on the counter steer and stuff anytime I do Daytona Tri-Oval. I just turn it on automatically. You can bump draft all you want and not risk losing it nearly as much. Papa up into P2, and that's a very skinny windshield there, but he is gaining on Estasy under half a second. You see them coming around, about to start lap 10. So ideally, you pit lap 20, lap 22, depending on what car you're in, change tires, and then finish out the race. Is that right, Tessa?
Yeah, and I think the only driver that might struggle to reach lap 20 is Leo, as he is the only driver under half a tank of fuel. So he'll make it to the pits, I think, if he continues at this rate. But with that 4 liter per second refuel rate, that's really going to hurt his overall time. That's going to put him a little bit further back in the pack.
Indeed, as we look on board, Papa now all over the back of Estasy. Are they going to work together? It looks like it. It looks like Papa's saying, hey, let's just keep pushing. We know the top end these Corvettes have. If we work together, Metal and Leo aren't going to be able to do anything, because they are unable to work together as Leo goes out wide a little bit. Bump drafting is going to help with fuel, so that is good news for the Corvettes. But I like this. I like Dodge and Ford working together so they can take on Chevrolet. As Papa goes up the inside, SSC not able to take the optimal line here, running way up high. He's going to tuck back underneath as we have a new leader. A new leader in the proprietor, Mr. PHG himself. SSC is going to try to work with them. They are in matching liveries, though. They are in different manufacturers. Inverse liveries there with the red and black, and then the black and red. I like it. I believe these were Salamander design liveries with a little added touch by the drivers. Tussum, I know you would be in a black and purple livery out there. Metal looking nice, running in the Corvette. Just under a half a tank of fuel, so he's doing great, actually. He's doing really great on the fuel. Tire wear starting to show up in that front right, and that's when the penalty system's going to come into play, because at some point, one of these drivers is going to try to take one of these turns a little too fast and end up in the wall. Leo trying to use that slipstream, help him save fuel, because, oh my, he's almost down to a quarter of a tank. It's going to be tricky for him to make it to the end, but he also has gone purple. So Leo showing us what's up as he bumps Metal, gives him a nice little push. and they are working on gaining on the leaders, but they are 1.6 seconds behind there. So Papa and Essie working together, able to pull away. I wonder if they are using a fuel map on the Corvettes, which is why the two cars working together are able to pull ahead. Do you think?
Yeah, I'm starting to suspect that Metal is running a lower fuel map because his fuel compared to Leo. Metal's used a lot less fuel so far, so yeah, I definitely suspect Metal's going to try to go more with the spin. But the only issue is that if he comes out of the pits without a draft buddy, it might make it a little difficult to catch up with the leaders. However, he does have a fuel advantage over Papa, and he's about even on fuel with STC, so I would say keep an eye on STC and Metal to see when they come out of the pits, or even when they come into the pits. I think that's going to be, I think they might be the ones contending for the victory.
Awesome. And do you think having slightly fresher tires gives you any advantage here, like maybe 2 to 4 lap fresher tires at the end?
I definitely think so. This track absolutely destroys the outside tires because that's doing all of the work. So if you can keep those tires in better condition for longer, then you'll be able to carry more speeds around these corners. So that's definitely going to help if they can extend their first speed.
Well, we are starting lap 16 of 40, so we are getting close to that pit window. Nasty back in P6 and the Ford GT just outside of slipstream range. Aside from those 2 clusters up front, it seems like the Joker lap has taken its toll where drivers didn't come out with their buddy. We saw most of them take it with another car, but several cars not make it out with their buddy. Geezer Gears being one of them, unfortunately, back there in P8. I do love his livery, though, changing it to the orange and yellow. Looking fresh on that Viper. He has taken his Joker lap, but we can see his turn signal still on. If you're listening, Turtle Shell, turn that signal off. I think that's something people are going to have to get used to. I have my turn signals mapped, and I know where they are. I know not everybody does that, especially if you're on pad. So we look back on board with our leaders, S to C and P2, Papa and P1 looking nice. They have a just over a second gap on Leo, who has decided to go in the pits because he is out of fuel. Leo with 1% of fuel, leaving his Corvette buddy high and dry. Metal was making good progress on SSC, but look at that. He's already dropped back 4 seconds to SSC, and unfortunately is going to be, I mean, he's going to have a lot of slow laps. As soon as you lose your buddy, you're going a lot slower. Look at these guys. SSC going 215 miles an hour there on the straight, pushing Papa along. When you're running by yourself, you're maybe going 200. So that's a big difference. I think we're going to end up running into lap traffic depending on how this goes. And Leo is now, I believe, a lap down, still in the pits. That refuel rate, huge, as he's now coming out, and he's going to have to make this last longer than he did previously. Otherwise, Leo's looking at a 2-stop, wouldn't you say, Tuzem?
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully he's looking at the race that's unfolded so far, realize that if he does want to avoid another lap plus long pit stop, he'll have to make that tank last a little bit longer than what he did on his first stint.
Now, me being an American and not paying attention in school, liters mean nothing to me, except for when you're talking about cola. So when I see 4 liters a second, I'm like, I don't know what that equates to. I don't know what 4 liters equates to. Well, we see that it equates to when you have to refuel your whole tank. It is a full lap. SSC taking the lead because Papa choosing to go in the pits, and it seems like people are excuse me, taking the pits out of necessity and not out of strategy.
Yeah, it's you know, it's the fuel burner. These cars are running full throttle about 94, 95% of the lap. You know, these engines are huge. They're gonna burn through the fuel. So STC is in the pit along with Metal. Let's see if anybody else is coming. Fredbird is also coming into the pits. Curious to see where they're going to come out as they continue to take the temporary lead for the mixed pit stop. Fredbird came in with absolutely zero fuel. I have to keep an eye on Papa to see where he comes out in comparison to the leaders. Just coming around the turn 3 now. And even the drivers that are coming out of pits, it's going to take them a little while to get back up to speed.
Yeah, but Nasty's caught up to Leo, so he's not quite in the slipstream, but definitely, actually he is in the slipstream as he goes into the pits. So I believe every driver has taken the Joker from what I've seen, and we're about to get another new leader with PHG SSC in P2, looking to get around the final set of turns and come out ahead of Nasty, even though he did run a lap with nobody. Z-Dub's getting a full tank of fuel back there, coming out of the pits. Where is this going to put us? Look how slow that is. So slow. I hate being at the gas station and you get the slow pump. As SSC now takes the lead, but look at Papa. Or is that Leo behind him? No, that is Papa. Okay. Papa not far off, so it's just a matter of making your fuel last to the end. Looks like everybody got fresh tires. And now we got ourselves a drag race. So strategy not playing out in the exciting way we had hoped for this first race, but still with those drivers who made the big mistakes on the Joker, it has definitely shaken things up, and we could run into some interesting stuff come the end of this race.
Got an eye on Metal. I'm not sure what happens now. 9 seconds behind Papa. So I'm not sure if something happened before his pit stop. That gap was increased just a little bit compared to where they were before the pit stops.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if he maybe overmapped his fuel. Maybe he was playing it too safe and now has fallen back, because it looks like he's starting to gain again. So maybe he's just trying to find that balance of making his fuel last to the end and trying to gain. So we got SSC in the lead, Papa in P2. It really seems like off the line that Ford GT was just a rocket ship, and that's really why we're seeing SSC where he is at the moment.
The Ford GT is the only car out of this group with 7 gears, so maybe those first gear ratios have a little bit with its acceleration off the line.
Indeed. Angry Fredbird gaining on Nasty. Oh! Own it! And that's into the wall, and that's a penalty. Angry Fredbird trying to make a move around the outside, gets a little squirrely, and even picks up damage. So not only is that a 1.5 second penalty, that is damage as well. And look, he's in the slip. Is he going for a move? Yeah, because they're coming on the straight, and just, it gets loose a bit, and he's trying to save it. And there he is, tags the wall, damages that right rear tire, and that is going to upset his race quite a bit when he serves that penalty. One of the things we talked about was that it might be advantageous to you to wait till as long as you can, or until you get a penalty, to do your Joker lap on this track specifically, because the penalty line is just before the braking zone of your Joker lap. So it's going to help slow your car down. You're already on a slow lap, you might as well. But since everybody went ahead and took their Joker lap, they're not able to do that. And unfortunately, that might allow Geezer Gears to take P6 off Angry Fredbird with that mistake.
I sort of suspect what happened was when the initial Joker lap started happening, the drivers up ahead, they didn't really get caught out. So one by one, two by two, the drivers kept taking the Joker lap just so that they can gauge the competition and, you know, maybe just keep a closer eye on what.
Indeed, and that is all 3 keys to this race have been played out. We got find a buddy. That's played out. We have adaptability. Those drivers up front deciding to adapt to what's happening behind them. And then we have get the Joker lap right. And we've seen several drivers unable to pull off that Joker lap cleanly. Papa has caught Ecstasy. He is flying around here. This man is a master of the Daytona Tri-Oval. Very, very impressive. And it looks like he's going for it. Nope, he tucks back in. Tussum, I'm curious, would you rather be in the lead or just follow behind until the end and go for that overtake? Or would you rather get it done now and just try to maintain it?
So, any high-speed race at Daytona, I treated it like a game of Mario Kart. And you never want to be in the lead when you start the final lap, because you are at huge risk of getting draft overtaken by the car behind. So not only that, but the Papa in that Viper, he gets the fuel save, and he can keep a good eye on the gap behind. He's got almost 10 seconds at this point, so pretty much they can control the pace as much as they want. But Papa's really going to be able to save that fuel and just unleash it all for the final shootout.
I mean, it looks like, we're on lap 29. They both have over a half a tank of gas, so they should be good. I'm looking forward to that drag race, maybe even photo finish across the line. That's one of my favorite things about racing these high-speed oval tracks like this, and Route X is just how exciting that final across the line. As Metal all alone out there, we see Nasty and Leo getting past Nasty. Leo back up into P4, but again, he's got to make that fuel last. He wasn't able to make it last for the first stint. Hopefully he's figured something out, but overtaking Nasty makes me think he isn't going to make it to the end.
Yeah, it's going to be a struggle. Yeah, maybe he's planning on a 2-stop, which will put him way behind, but hopefully he's got a close eye on his fuel gauge and make some adjustments. He still has some time to make some adjustments and maintain P4. But he is going to be under attack from Nasty, assuming that Nasty can stay in the slipstream, which at this point he's just hanging on, but he's dropping further and further back.
Indeed. Leo trying to make his way back up to his Corvette teammate of Metal, but 5.7, he's going to make that fuel. He's ahead of Nasty. Angry Fredbird, who we saw had that penalty. What? Leo's coming in again. That is another pit stop for Leo. He realized he wouldn't make it. Instead of doing a long pit for gas, he's doing a shorter one, trying to get just enough to get to the end, but that's going to cause him to lose out quite a bit. Now down into last place.
No, anything can happen here. All it takes is just one extremely catastrophic crash, and he could be back up in the top. Will that happen? It's unlikely, but again, anything can happen. This race is far from over.
Far from over, indeed, and all it takes is one whoopsie-daisy, as we saw from Angry Fredbird earlier, to set yourself back. But looking good sitting in P5, all things considered. He's got just under half a tank of fuel. We're on lap 32 of 40. We are in the latter half of this race as we see Fly America taking off in the background. Papa still in P2 behind Ecstasy. Both looking good on tires and fuel. Now just working together to push their way ahead. They've got a very good gap on Metal in the background there. So they are definitely dominating this race. 2 PHG members, 1 Canadian, 1 American, working together. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. See, they get a little bit of gap going into the turn, as it is hard to maintain the speed. The last thing Papa wants to do is to unsettle his car and do what Turtle Gears did, and Turtle Gears, Geezer Gears, aka Turtle Shell. I combined both names, and hit the wall. Looking at Metal, 14 seconds off of Papa, still sitting in no man's land, 6 seconds ahead of Nasty. So very well cleared. Nasty being the and then as we look with Metal being all alone, he's hitting 215 there, 216, 217 before getting into the turn and losing all that speed. And now we're going to see Papa here in the slipstream, 206, as they get through turn 1. And when they get on this back straight, it'll be interesting to see how much quicker they go. Metal was just briefly able to get to 217, but here they are well in the slipstream on the straight. They're 208, 209, and coming around the final turn back onto the start-finish straight. So a big difference in pace. That is incredible to see how much power that Corvette has. Papa only able to get to maybe 206, so that's over a 10-mile-an-hour difference. How long do you think it'll take for him to catch Tuzzle?
That's if he catches. I'm looking at Metal's tire wear, and his front right tire, he just clips the wall coming out of, or entering the first corner. He's going to be struggling for grip if he's not already struggling.
Oh, wow. Did he not take tires, or is that just the tire wear from him pushing?
I think that's just the tire wear. I doubt anybody would have been able to survive this without the tire change.
He got lucky not to get a penalty there. That's for sure. And as Papa and SSE had caught lap traffic, I would have thought they might have stayed tucked into the slip a little bit more. They seem to opt to try to clear that traffic as quickly as possible. Nasty back in P4 in the 4GT. About to start his 37th lap, and not too far behind. Angry Fredbird caught back up. He's not going to get pushed down. He wants to be higher than P5, and he might be able to get a tire wear. Not looking great on that front left, but it looks like he's got enough fuel to make it to the end. We will see. Geezer Gears also in the Viper, looking about the same. Back in P6, off in no man's land. C-Dubs, they're in the lap traffic. Oh, and you can see that SC and Papa just behind using his slipstream as well. Let's see if they're able to get by cleanly. They're staying tucked in, and there goes SC. Papa stays tucked in to C-Dubs before he goes low and tucks back in behind SC. Looking like Papa may go for a move. SSC gets a little wiggle off of that bump, but no, they stay P1 and P2 the same. Moving their way through lap traffic.
They had actually overtaken C-Dubs, but C-Dubs actually unlapped himself. So if this stays as it is and C-Dubs gets back in front of this group, that could be the thorn in Papa's side that prevents him from that draft overtake towards the end.
Oh, that is exciting. As Papa says, no, I need to take it now. We got 2 laps to go. They're going side by side. I think Papa was listening to you, Tessa, saying, oh, I got to get this done now. This isn't going to work. They do not touch. I thought they were about to touch right there. Still going side by side. SSC able to stay on the inside, getting that shorter line. And there is C-Dubs just behind, trying to unlap himself as they're going to lose time. This is only going to play out in Metal's favor. Unfortunately, too far behind. It is the final lap of the Joker Series, and Ecstasy is our leader. Papa falling back, C-Dubs falling in between the two. This is just what you were talking about, Tuzum. This is getting in Papa's way. He's able to use the slipstream, but now has a car between him and Ecstasy. He has to get by, otherwise he's going to be settling for P2, losing that pole position. Back there looking for a way around into the final turn. Papa getting a run on the inside, but Ecstasy in the way. Nothing Papa can do. Ecstasy in P1, Papa P2. Unfortunately, C-Dubs a lap down, making the ending of our first Joker Series race very spicy. Metal coming across the line. Oh no.
Fredbird had taken P4 from Nasty, but he's run out of fuel. So now he's up to P5. No. Geezer is coming around the final corner. He's coasting to the finish line with nothing left, dropping down 110 miles an hour. It's it's
over. They were so far ahead. Oh my gosh. So far ahead that there was nothing to be done. Victory, Ecstasy. All right. Tuzum, take us through this race results.
Absolutely. So taking the win by a very narrow margin, Ecstasy in the Ford GT. PHG Papa just a split second behind, takes P2. And Metal will round out the podium. All three cars represented on the podium, just like in qualifying. On P4, Nasty in the Ford GT. P5, Angry Fredbird got saved by the bell, ran out of fuel as he was approaching the line. P6, Geezer Gears. P7 is C-Dubs. And P8, we have Leo getting the strat just a bit wrong, a lap down.
A bit.
And Speed Bump will be listed as a DNF for this split.